This is the Bengals Pulse, the heartbeat of our victorious Cincinnati Bengals.
Can't miss player. I really do. A lot of people think I'm crazy. I think when he gets on the field, he's going to produce. He's going to produce at a high level.
They are almost unbeatable in December and January.
We're on another level. Thank you.
And I am going to become the first Bengals broadcaster to call a Super Bowl title. It's happening.
Yes,
It's happening
that's
this year.
In a row, Mon. 10 in a row.
Hooday, Bengals fans. This is the Bengals Pulse, the heartbeat of your Cincinnati Bengals. And it feels like it's been years since Bengals football is here. And you know what? We had to get here. We had to do a pregame show for you. We had to do it right. Jake will be joining us shortly. He is speeding to Mon's house as we speak. But we have another Jake to sub in for him. So we've got Mon, the fireman, and his son Jake. Guys, how's it going? How excited are you for this?
Good, Eric. Are you okay? You sort of slurred there. You've been drinking. You low blood sugar low. Everything good?
I am high on excitement for Bengals football. I'm sorry. I will hold the F-bombs to a minimum since there's babies in the house. I'm excited.
It's Sunday. It's the day of the Lord. No cussing.
I'd like to clarify, though, my name is also Jake. I'm not named after the other Jake, though I was named clearly after, chronologically. But
We named him after Jake Ryan from 16 Candles right here. So
listen, the wiser Jake. Let's go with the wiser Jake we have here.
I think that's what I'll go.
Listen,
hey, Josh
he's on time.
London.
He's here.
Josh
He's
from
the wiser
London.
Jake.
Hey. All right.
Yeah, thanks so much for everybody joining in. We got a lot of people popping in here. You know, we talked about this in the last show, but yeah, the mainstream, the national media just doesn't do Bengals justice. So we got to come here. We got to talk with our fans. We're ready to go. Mon's already watching other games on TV. Let's do this. Mon.
Now Luke is here. I wanted Luke just to come in and say hello. Hey, Luke.
Yeah. Whoever you want. What's going on, Luke?
Hey guys, full house here. I'm doing some baby duty stuff right now. So Jake,
It's Charlie.
Jake knows more about football than I do.
It's Charlie's first Bengal game, so we're excited about that. Grandson, and want to know.
He's a Seminole and he's a Bengal. He's 2-0 right now. So
Listen,
he could go 3-0 today.
Little Charlie is going to be undefeated. He's never going to see a Bengals loss. I'm calling
He may never see it.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
All right, Jake's going to be joining us any minute. He's going to be walking in, but we don't have a lot of time to wait around. So let's get to some of the key news here. The Bengals inactives list came out. So I want to get Mon and Jake's take on this. Marco Wilson, not really surprising. Matt Lee, a little surprising to me because who's our backup center? Cam Grandy, Howard Cross III, and the big surprising ones. The big surprise is Jermaine Burton, and as well as McKinley Jackson. There's been a lot of talk about McKinley Jackson being in the doghouse, but Mon, give us your thoughts. What's the deal with these two guys not being active?
Well, wide receiver 6 is normally inactive, and we obviously know who wide receiver 6 is. That's Jermaine Burton. Maybe he has a lingering issue with that knee. I'm still high on him. I think his talent level's through the roof. Some distractions last year, but he's, the injury I think hasn't helped him this off season. McKinley Jackson is in a big doghouse. I think he has a lot of upside, but obviously the coaching staff isn't high on him. I hope he proves them wrong. Let's put it that way.
Well, yeah, the Bengals, they felt the need to bring in the veteran from the Chiefs. Is it Purnell? Purnell.
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, when that happened, that was the McKinley Jackson they must have not been sure about. And,
yeah, we'll see.
I think this is the fruit of that.
So is McKinley Jackson kind of our Jackson Carman of the defensive line? Is he going to be that high draft pick that we have to move on from earlier than later?
No, listen, I said this on Twitter last week. Zach Carter got 2.5 years to have that light bulb come on, and it really didn't. McKinley, Zach Carter, I don't think is on an active roster right now. McKinley Jackson played last year. He flashed. I think he was more productive in 1 year as a Cincinnati Bengal than Zach Carter was in 2.5 years as a Bengal. You can't give up on third-round picks. Every NFL roster has third-round picks that produce at a high level. If the Bengals would somehow do away with last year's third-round picks, which was Burton and McKinley Jackson, that's not a good way to build a roster. You can't give up on these gentlemen in 1 year. You can't do it. Give them a bigger sample size. Let's see what happens. McKinley Jackson is 330 pounds, very athletic. I think he's a solid player. And let's see how he develops out. We can have this conversation week 17.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, there's a lot of people that are buzzing that he might not make it to week 17. So let's hope so.
Yeah.
We'll see. We're gonna get right into it here. This is a big matchup, the Battle of Ohio. So let's kick off with our first segment.
Keys to the game.
Look at that. Jake's not here, so it's not as good. But
Over budget.
Listen,
Come on.
Listen, I'll talk to the guys in accounting. I'm making this stuff happen. Let's get into our keys to the game. Mon, why don't you give us the keys to Bengals victory? Talk about some of those matchups, and then let's go.
I think the problem, I mentioned it the other day, the game plan for the Cleveland Browns will be simple. Keep away from Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown. They want to play keep away. They want those gentlemen on the bench. They don't want the Bengals to score points. And the best way to do that is to keep them on the bench. Cleveland is going to run, control the clock, keep away. The Bengals defense has to get Cleveland off the field. That's why Pennell's start active. That's why TJ Slayton is active. They're expecting 30, 40 rush attempts by the Cleveland Browns today. You know, if the Bengals have the ball 20 to 25 minutes, this game could be close.
So Jake, looks like Jake just joined us. Jake, I'm going to throw this up. We've already talked about actives, inactives. So we're not going to do that again, but we're unveiling our segment here. So go ahead and
keys to the game.
You can't hear. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
I said, walking in as Mon's talking about controlling the clock is exactly how I needed to start my Sunday. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Good day to all of you. Thank you guys for joining us. Yes, look at that. The production value is crazy. Great job with that, Eric. Really, that looks good. Yeah, keys to the game again. I think Mon was just talking about as I was sitting down. I think really the keys to this game is the Bengals offensively. Being able to move the football. Obviously, the Bengals have struggled offensively these opening games, and I think today is an example of this Bengals offense needing to be able to go down, sustain drives, and put the ball in the end zone. I think defensively, again, like Mon said, the Browns are planning to come out and run the football. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I think we all know that. So Bengals have to get off the field defensively, make sure that Burrow is on the field, and again, the Browns are not going to want Burrow and Chase and all those guys on the field as much as possible. So, I do. I think the Bengals need to come in. I think they need to establish a run too, but I think offensively they need to sustain drives. I think they need to score early and often. Put these Browns in an opportunity where they have to throw the football. And if those things happen, I feel very confident that this game could be a lopsided game if the Browns have to come out and start throwing the football. Bengals need to score early and get up on them.
Yeah, we've seen in the past the Bengals really need to. They come out in these home openers and the offense, it just isn't clicking. To me, you guys have talked defense all offseason long. Defense. We need to do this. We need to do this better. To me, I really think the Bengals have to come out and they have to be clicking on offense. We need to be going out there and seeing that similar type of offense that we saw in the preseason, where they're just having success after success. Long drives, controlling the clock, going out there, scoring touchdowns, not field goals. I think we've given so much emphasis on getting the defense better that I don't think it's going to happen right away. I think, as Zim has pointed out, this is a young defense. They're gonna grow. They're gonna be better, but they're probably not going to be really good until week 8, 10, 12. Joe Burrow has to carry this team. He hasn't done it in openers in years past. We saw against the Steelers a few years ago where he came out and threw all those interceptions in the first half and then woke up and almost got us back to victory. I'm saying that this is Joe Burrow, and the offense needs to come out there and really go off. I want to get you guys' thoughts on the big elephant in the room is how do we stop Myles Garrett? So one, I'll go to you guys. How do we stop Myles Garrett, and can we, or is this a matter of just managing how much disruption he can do? Mom?
Well, we got to win on first down. We can't be in 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15. We can't, because that's where he's going to tee off on us. And that's if you look at some of the issues we've had with the Browns in the past, it's been 2nd and long, 3rd and long. And you know what? There's that's what Myles Garrett wants. Cincinnati, Jake just mentioned it. We have to run the ball. We need to control the clock a little bit. We need to run the ball and run the ball at him, wear them down. And listen, week 1 in the NFL season is unpredictable. It's going to be like a playoff atmosphere up there. They're going to be fired up. We got to survive the first 15 minutes. And then the game is going to settle down, and then we'll go from there. We'll take charge. But we got no catastrophic fumbles and no interceptions, nothing stupid. Just place, control football, come in and do what you're supposed to do and win this game.
And I think offensively, again, that is the key to really stopping Myles Garrett, right? Is offensively controlling the football game. And, we said it earlier, if the Bengals get up a couple scores on this Browns team and Joe Flacco has to go out and win the football game for the Cleveland Browns, it's going to be a lopsided game in a Bengals win. So I'm with Mon. I also think you're going to see a lot of packages with guys like Drew Sample coming in and helping those tackles with Myles Garrett. Probably put a guy in at an H or lining him up in a hip and having him chip and help with Myles Garrett. So you just can't let Myles Garrett wreck this game. And Mon said it perfectly. The way you don't let him wreck the game is, you stay in front of the chains as much as possible. You can't get in 2nd and long. You can't get in 3rd and long. You need to be very successful on first down. And, if the Bengals are able to average 5 or 6 yards on first down, then Myles Garrett, that kind of takes Myles Garrett out of his wheelhouse, which is, him being able to tee off on every play. And, the Bengals haven't done a very good job of that in these first games of the season lately. So Bengals have got to be able to be successful on first down and put themselves in good situations to stay in front of the chains. If you do that, Myles Garrett will he'll start pressing and he won't have as much success if that's the case.
For sure. So we didn't talk about the Browns inactives. We kind of just focused on the Bengals. But there are some questions in the chat. What do we think of the Browns inactives? So let me give those to you guys and get your opinions on them. We didn't talk about them because I don't think there's a lot of impact, but maybe you guys do. Shedeur Sanders is the emergency 3rd QB, which is kind of surprising that he's that high up the roster, but he is. Defensive tackle Mike Hall Jr., guard Zach Sinter, Mom's favorite from the draft crush there. KT Levinston tackle, and wide receiver Gage Lavardian. Anything jump out at you or any concerns over that seems to be all depth pieces.
Yeah, Michael Hall's been injured. That's the biggest name to me. I don't think anything major about that. I just I'm not too concerned about their inactives.
Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously, to be honest, there's no names on there that jump out. This Browns team, I would say, is pretty healthy as far as that goes, and and the Bengals are too. I mean, a lot of the Bengals inactives are guys that are healthy scratches. So, I wasn't here for that conversation, but obviously the Bengals bringing up Mike and the Bengals are gonna load the box because they know the Browns are gonna want to run this football and Kenley Jackson, obviously a little bit of a surprise. He's obviously in the doghouse, but I feel real good about them picking up Mike, and I think Mike will come out and play some quality snaps for the Bengals today.
All right, before we get to your predictions, I want to know, what do you guys think about Jamar Chase, T. Higgins versus that secondary of the Browns? Very good quality, one of the strengths of the team. How well do you think our receivers are performing, Mon?
I think I don't care how good you are. The Bengals receivers are going to put up stats. Are going to put up numbers. I will say this: the Cleveland Browns are built to beat the Bengals. Pass rushers, cornerbacks, and they play in the same division as the Bengals. They know how the Bengals are wired. They know their quarterback. They know their skill position players. That's how they've drafted and they built that roster. And they have had some success in the past. We've won 4 of the last 5. I'm telling you, this game, I feel confident. I feel confident for my team, but it's not going to be easy. And, when we get to the prediction part, I'll talk about that. But I think Burrow and Chase and Higgins are going to have some good stats. I think Chase Brown's going to be the key today. I think Gesicki's going to have a big game because I think the Browns are going to try to take away our big 2 receivers.
Yeah, this might be overly confident, but I just don't see this Browns secondary matching up with this Bengals offensive weapons. I think I'm not trying to downplay the Browns secondary. They got some good players in there, obviously, but it's not the same secondary that we're used to seeing. And the Bengals, like Mon said, they've won 4 out of the last 5. If the key really is holding up on the offensive line end. I mean, if Myles Garrett, if there's not a lot of interior pressure, Joe Burrow is going to carve this defense up. So that's really the key, I think, more so than the receivers versus the DBs. It's going to be this offensive line versus the front 7 of the Browns. If the Bengals offensive line can hold up, Joe Burrow is going to have a field day. He'll light this team up.
Yeah, a lot of Browns players are being really salty, being very confident. Joe Thomas has made some comments, former Brown. He's a color commentator now, I think, on the local radio network, saying that it's going to be a slaughter. Cleveland's going to kill him. So hopefully Zach Taylor has that in the locker room and his team can see that.
Before we get to the predictions, Jake, I got something for you if you got a hot take for me. Do you have a hot take about this game?
I do.
All right, wait 1 second, because we got something for you.
Jake's hot takes.
Give us your hot take.
I'm about to grow the beard back out. I love the beard. I'm growing the beard back out now. You're forcing me. Angela's not going to be happy with you, Eric. But yeah, I am going to have a hot take. I am going to say Myles Garrett does not get a sack today against this Bengals offense. I don't think Myles Garrett is a factor in this football game, and I think Joe Burrow stays clean against Myles Garrett. Obviously, there's always a chance that there's going to be a sack with this young interior offensive line of the Bengals, but I do not think Myles Garrett gets a sack today against this Bengals offense.
That's pretty hot, pretty spicy.
Jennifer
spicy. Did have a question. Angela might like your head exploding though.
Listen, not as hot and spicy as this mustache I'm sitting next to. This
hey,
thing is
you see
glorious.
the AI version of his mustache is pretty good too. Jennifer had a question. Lucas Patrick is starting. Dalton Reisner is not starting yet. So they've got some faith in Lucas Patrick. It might just be the fact that he's been in there and knows the offense. Listen to an interview he did earlier this week. It's hard not to like the guy. I hope he has success. We need him to. With that, let's get to our AFC North.
AFC North predictions.
All right, guys. Give us your Bengals at Browns score prediction. Mon, why don't you go first?
I think it's going to be a slugfest. I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't. Opening week, Cleveland has a hell of a defense. Playing in Cleveland week 1, it's going to be tough. I think the Bengals will win. I think it's going to be 24-16 Cincinnati over the Browns.
Jake?
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with Mon. I think this Bengals team is going to be prepared for this football game, and I think those snaps in the preseason you're going to see are going to be very important. I think you're going to see an offense that is going to be able to get in rhythm a lot earlier than they have been in the previous years. And I think Joe Burrow carves this team up. I'm going to say Bengals 34, Browns 13. Maybe the Browns get a late one at the end of the game, but I think the Bengals control this game pretty much from start to finish. And again, I think you're going to see a cleaner more disciplined Bengals team here week 1.
Yeah, I agree. I think the offense is going to come out clicking. I'm going to throw a prediction, even though I don't normally, outside of the 20 and Joe. I think the Bengals do get off to a hot start. I think it's 36. I think it's 36-10, and I think we see Jake Browning in the fourth quarter. That's how confident I am in this week. It's going to be pretty exciting. And do we have an introduction of a new Bengals player?
Look at that, Charlie. He hates it. He thinks it's a Dan Coates jersey.
You got to put him in a Browns diaper. That's the problem. Love it. All right, guys. Before we get out of here, we're not going to take a lot of time because Mon has to go and get the subs together. A lot of heat in YouTube for the Connecticut subs for game day. But you know what? This is Florida. Public subs are the best things in the world. So you got to do what you got to do, right, Mon?
Whoever said that, you're not invited to this house.
Bring your own mayo. Okay, before we get out of here, we got one more segment. Let's get this last segment and go from there.
Our final thoughts.
All right, guys, give me your final thoughts on the Bengals-Browns matchup. Mon.
Go ahead, Mom.
We need more super chats to pay for these graphics. That's my final thought. Guys, we got to win in the trenches. Football is not hard. I know I sound like a broken record. I think Cleveland just is going to play simple football. This game could end at 3:30. If the Bengals struggle on the offense and defensive line, this is going to be a slugfest. And I just hope it doesn't happen. We have the best skill position players in the NFL. The best, and the only way to neutralize them is to keep them on the bench. We just got to make sure that doesn't happen.
I think this team is going to be a lot more focused than what we've seen. I think that they understand that last year their slow start cost them a playoff opportunity and a Super Bowl run. As good as that offense was, I think the Bengals understand that they have to start fast, and I think Zach Taylor's got a little bit of pressure on him to start fast. I think this whole team is feeling that pressure, but I think they will step up to it. I think you're going to see an offense that is able to move the football. They looked really good in preseason, and I know it's preseason, but those snaps are going to be huge for this offense to come out. And obviously, it helps. Playing against Joe Flacco and this Browns offense, which is not very good, is a very good thing for this young Bengals defense. So I think the Bengals control this game from start to finish, and I think Joe Burrow has a big game finally in week 1.
Yeah, I think so too. And actually, Steven comes up with a good point here. All the interviews, everything, they had an interview with Joe this morning with Alex Smith. It was a really good interview. They all do seem like they're in playoff mode. So I hope that the whole team carries that attitude. It needs playoff starts now. You have to win these games. You have to come out of September with a winning record. And I fully have confidence in my team. I do have a hot take for you guys. Jake's not going to be complaining about the defense for at least 45 minutes. The defense is going to come out, and everything we got sold in the offseason about scheme being good is gonna work.
That's more of a hot take than mine.
I got a hot take right now. Eric's about to get a certified letter. You got to stop doing these graphics.
They're awesome. What are you talking? Keep doing them, Eric.
Listen, Mon, I've got one for you that says they must control the clock, but I didn't put it up there because I wasn't sure if
just
it was
make sure it's the clean version of that.
I might have to create 2. He gets whatever he gets. If he cuts off my budget, then he gets the
Hey, Yash,
All right.
have a Boddington for me. Come on.
All right, Bengals fans. We're coming up on 25 minutes. We need to get out of here, but guess what? We are going to be live for you for another 25 to 30 minutes immediately after the game. We're going to be here. We're going to be celebrating. Mon and Jake are going to be speechless, but you know what? We'll make up for it with lots of graphics and whatever we need. Go get situated, get ready to enjoy a great Bengals game.
I'm going to have a sub, Mr. Connecticut.
I am too. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Listen, we'll get out of here. Let you guys get ready for the game. We will see you right after the game. Hoo day, Bengal fans. Thank you guys for joining us.